Reflecting on reaching 1,000 published reviews on Yelp on Friday, January 2025. I'm filming this a little over 2 weeks later, 15 days later. On Saturday, January 2025, I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. On Yelp, I am Tanis L, hometown of Seattle and location of Shoreline. And I'm going to reflect on what it was like reaching 1,000 published reviews on the platform Yelp on Friday, January 2025. Number 1000, so review number 1000, was a review I wrote on a place I visited in July 2018, the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, California. Yes, so initially I started with my publishing reviews, and I did two reviews back in 2013, published, and then I removed one later and then updated one. But this is it took me, so I started in 2013, so then 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. So it took me 11 years, like as in just calendar years, to hit 1,000 reviews. From the year that I initiated publishing. The account I have is actually, so my Yelp account that I use, I started in 2007 Yelping. So it is an 18-year-old account. Whoa! Approximately, like per calendar year. All right, so I'm not new to Yelp by any means. That's approximating adult status if it were a human being, which is kind of really cool to think of. And this particular review I was on my friend Jinsol Kim and I. Yes, she's Korean. We went on a road trip together over the 4th of July weekend. I think it was a longer weekend, or we went over a weekend and we did a California road trip, and we were going to go to Yosemite, and Yosemite was on fire. And we lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, East Bay, both of us. We both lived in Albany, California, the city of Albany. And so since Yosemite was on fire, we decided to continue on south, because we'd our first night we'd kind of been down by kind of the Bakersfield area. And so we decided to continue south, and we went down through Los Angeles and Pasadena, and then we ended up camping in Malibu. So we camped all 3 nights, and then we went up by Big Sur and stayed at Ponderosa Pine campground up that way, and then came back. And so it was 3 nights, and so California Institute of Technology was between night 1 and night 2. And it was warm, it was a toasty weather, and we went, and we saw parking people. So it was my car, and this was we went to Santa Anita horse racing track. They didn't have any horses on the track that day, but we went and explored that. We went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We went to some water park or amusement park and paid for entrances, but then didn't stay. And then we did actually go onto the Caltech campus and do some exploring on foot. So we did actually visit the campus. So I wrote a review and published it, and it was review number 1000. And it was a fun one because it was an enjoyable experience, and we were both like, it's so small, because we were both PhD students. She did atmospheric chemistry, and I was doing geophysics at the University of California, Berkeley. So we were there, and we were like, it's so small. Like the entire student body was like 3,000 or 4,000, and like, University of California, Berkeley is like over 20,000. Right? So we're just like walking, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's like 5 to 10 minutes to get across campus. Like it was like a very different experience. But that was review number 1000, and it was a long time coming for me in terms of writing and publishing on Yelp. And I kind of had 2 bigger years, 2020 and 2023, leading up to it, in terms of those were years where I had, 300 or 400 reviews each year. So it has not been about the same amount of reviews each year. This year, I have decided to take I have received a notification via Yelp about being elite, which is, if you write and contribute a certain amount, then you get an elite. And I have not actually checked my email to get my badge and that kind of stuff. So I've been enjoying the not being elite thus far this month. And I have a few things I want to check mark before I get back to elite status, if the link still works, you know, when I check my email, that kind of thing. But it's a different email than I use for YouTubing. So I'm just kind of like, I've got a few check marks to get without that elite status, because it's been like over 4 years since I haven't been elite. So if I recall it correctly, this was like April 2020. So I'm like, you know, does this mean, how does it feel to do it without that elite badge? So yeah. So it felt good, and it's been a long time coming, and it was fun to be like, I see this coming. And this is of the review. So I've had some review. I had one review got removed by Yelp, and then like 2 of them got merged or something. I've had a few things happen to the reviews. So in terms of written and published at the time, review number 1000 as the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, California. That review that I wrote and published on Friday, 3 January 2025. So I felt good, and it's fun to, I do kind of like have off-channel documentation for YouTube. I do that for Yelp as well. So I don't necessarily, I haven't put any of my Yelp stuff into a bit about my family stuff, just because it's like different platforms, different families, different documentation. But I do track my reviews stuff. And so with that, it's been kind of fun to be like, what do I want to be? What fits? And I was like, I like this one. It was I'm grown up now. I can go to another city in the state I live, California, and see the university and be like, we've hosted a postdoc from Caltech. And so it's not only or I've met people, or they've gave talks, or I've gone to their poster or their talk in a conference. So it's like taking an institution whose name I know and being like, well, let's see what the institution is. Oh, it's small. But like, it's cool, and it's got some very fitting like geometry, sculpture kind of thing. So it was fun. We enjoyed it. Parking was enforced, and it was warm, but it was enjoyable. And so that was for review. So it's been fun to be able to choose per the numbering, and thinking about the sequence that I'm posting my reviews in, the kind of feel. So it's kind of like a long song. Or an epic, the progression of reviews in addition to the reviews themselves. So this one I did deliberately choose for my review number 1000. So there we go. That's reflecting on reaching 1000 published reviews on Yelp on Friday, 3 January 2025.